been posting lots of videos lately, so I'm gonna do it right now. So the topic today would be simple machines. As this guy says, sounds simple. It is simple. It only has one motion. One motion. So one motion means that there's like one thing moving. So it's really simple, as I said. And it makes work easier. So makes work easier means like when you're working, you actually need them. You need them in order to work. And I'll explain them when I'm explaining them like severally. I'll give you lots of examples. Now the compound machines. Compound machines. Look at the word compound. Compound means like it's kind of like several. So compound, it means two or more simple machines. And to conclude, it means two or more motion. Two or more motion. And when there's two or more motion, it's more likely to get like more complicated, right? It's complicated. So we could also call them complex machines. When you hear the word complex, what can you think of? Complicated, right? It's like a synonym. So now I'm going to explain about many types of simple machines. So first, inclined plane. Inclined plane is very useful for our life. So inclined plane is like a ramp. Ramp, it looks kind of like this. Called also a ramp. And when it's a ramp, it's easier to move a heavy thing. Okay, so imagine there's like a heavy box here, and when someone is trying to lift it up, it's too heavy, right? And this guy would struggle. But it would be much easier if he's sliding it up. Like, see, look at him. This guy is pushing it up. This would be much easier. But consequently, at the end of this work, they use the same energy. Because when you're just holding it up, you use lots of energy when holding it up, but you need like less distance and you can just get on the truck. With the ramp, it's kind of long because you have to push it and it should be kind of like this. When it's like this, it doesn't matter, it's just hard to get up, right? Second would be the wedge. Wedge. Wedge is very connected to inclined plane. Wedge is type of inclined plane, but it's a little bit more developed. So it is used for splitting or breaking things. Split or break. So for example, there is a knife. They're very scared. No. This part is like the inclined plane, right? And the axe. You know, I will give lots of them an axe. So you use axe to cut a log, right? So they're used to split or break things, break a log. And you need wedge because when you don't have like axe, how will you cut the wood? Will you do it with your bare hands? You're not Captain America. You cannot do it. So it is very useful in our lives. Now it would be the screw. Screw is also connected with these two. Oh, this pen is not good. Not good pen. So screw is also important. So these are like a combination of inclined plane and wedge. So it's like this, right? This and there's thing wrapped around here. Wedge is like this pointy part. This is wedge. But this bumpy stuff, these are actually, when you see them closely, this is actually inclined plane. So this is just the combination of inclined plane and wedge. So when you do this, you use a screwdriver to put it in, right? But you need like more force if you're just turning in than just doing it by hammer. But when you use a torque, something called a torque makes work easier either, but it's not type of simple machine. Torque is like a longer type of like this, so you will have to turn it like easily. But the thing is that you have to walk more if there's longer torque. This is called a torque. It'll also come out later, so remember this, torque. Then it would be a lever, but I will erase it first because there's no place in the whiteboard. Go away. Okay, so we learned about inclined plane, wedge, and screw and torque. And this will be coming out because there's lots of connection between simple machines, so you should be aware of that. Remember them, okay? Screw, wedge, inclined plane. Now it's a really, really long one. Lever. Lever is, like, I think it's the most used one in our whole life. There are like 3 types. There's a lot. But first, in this lever, you have a fulcrum. Fulcrum is a part, like, for example, when you have a seesaw, you have like something like down in the part in the middle. There's like a triangle thingy, right? That's called a fulcrum. And also it needs effort. Effort is like you're pushing it down. It's your effort. And a load. Load is like the something that you're pushing it up. Like a friend. If you're like doing a seesaw with your friends, the friend would be the load. Okay? And from there, when you apply force, it's called effort, as I said. And I said there are 3 classes, 3 types of thing, and they are classified. Where is the fulcrum? Where do you apply the effort? Like where do you apply the force? And where is that person? Where is that like load thing located? The first thing would be, it's called the first class because it's first class. As I said, it's like a seesaw. There's a fulcrum in the middle, a load in this part. Okay, let's say this is type of a trash. This is a load. Oh. See? And this part, this is this guy. Let's say it's you. And this guy is going to push it down, okay? This guy would be the effort. Yeah, so this is the fulcrum. And this is basically what it looks like, the first class. And when you're like doing it, you see this mostly in your life. This is the most common one. The second class, it's also very common. Okay, second class. In second class, you will have like a little bit different. So there's this guy, same guy. This guy is taking out the trash, also did here. And he's using a wheelbarrow. Wheelbarrow is a good example of a wedge, not a wedge, but lever in the second class. So wheelbarrow is something like this. You know, when people are picking up the trash, they use usually this. You know this, right? There's this load here. You know, another trash load. And the fulcrum is not only like this, triangle, but it could also be a wheel. This is a fulcrum. Okay? Fulcrum here, and the effort that is pushing. Okay, this is not good. Okay, so this is type of a second class, okay? So you push one, you push your effort on the other side. The fulcrum is the opposite side of the effort. Third class. This is the third class. And in third class, it is also different. They're all different. I know, they're first, second, third, so they're different. So, okay, this guy doesn't have any tools, and he needs his hand to do it for him. And, you know, trash is disgusting. So, he's not wanting to take out the trash, but he should. Okay, so, for this guy. This guy would be the fulcrum now. Fulcrum. This arm would be the effort, because you're holding it up. You have your force here. Effort. And when there's this trash thingy, this would be a load. So this is exactly what a third class looks like. And you see here, this is the fulcrum, load, and effort. Here, effort, load, fulcrum. Here, fulcrum, effort, load. It's all different. Very complicated, but you gotta memorize them. No. Now, I gotta erase it again. Too much thing to write. Lever, it's really important important, and I will also explain a little bit in wheel and axle, so remember it. First class, second class, third class. There are too many things. Okay. So, as I said, I'll explain it more in wheel and axle. Now it's a time for wheel and axle. You know basically what a wheel is, but you're not pretty sure what an axle is, right? Wheel is just a wheel that you know, but axle is like a rod, like this long stick attached to the wheel. So if you see a car, there's a car toy. You can see like two wheels and a stick. That is called an axle, okay? And there are two types that the wheel and axle actually uses, like for something. And it's like increasing the output force. So to like say it easily, so imagine a faucet. Faucet is a thing that you wash hands from. Okay, you have a faucet here. Nice faucet. Faucet here. So when the water is coming out, you should turn this thing, right? But does someone turn this part? Who turns this part? No one does, right? Everyone turns this part. So this is like a wheel, and this would be like the axle. And oh, so I said remember and screw. Remember the torque. This is type of a torque. Bigger handle, easier to turn, right? So this would be the part, one thing that wheel and axle is used for. And the other one, so it's like almost used a lot in bikes. When you see a bike, you are not turning this part, right? You turn it with your hands and you're going like this? No, you turn this small pedal. Okay, let me show you. So there's your bicycle. Let's say this is a bicycle. Not a good drawing, but it's a bicycle, okay? Bicycle, okay. There's a seat. Here we go. This is a bicycle. And do you turn this part? Nobody does, right? Or this part? No. You turn this, oh, I forgot the pedal. You turn this part, right? The pedal that you turn, and this turns together. So the thing is that when you're doing this, like this kind of thing, you have to turn the larger wheel so that you can do it easily. But for example, of a bike, you should do a smaller one, because when you're doing a longer, like a bigger one, this would be harder. And the bigger wheel means like longer distance. So bigger wheels is better. Like small wheels and big pedal, they're like useless. Next, a pulley. I'm gonna erase it again. Pulley and wheel and axle are really connected to each other either. So actually, you should remember wheel and axle. But I'm gonna erase it. You're gonna memorize it. Okay? So a pulley would be a wheel and axle. It's a wheel and axle. There's a wheel and axle. Let's say this is a wheel and axle, okay? So a wheel and axle here and behind. So this is like this. There's a type of rope, lots of rope. This guy, this cool guy, hanging onto it, saying hi, right? So this would be the guy. And so, pulley. Oh, I didn't write the name. Pulley. I just said it actually says pull. You should pull this rope in order to that guy to pull this guy up. This guy's really heavy, you know. So these are like very comfortable for pulling them up. Also, it's used in crank. Do you know what a crank is? Like when there's a well and water, you have like this kind of basket that you put in here, and this is called a crank. And this is type of a pulley. And yeah, as I said, when you apply force to the rope, it'll be easier to like take up this person. And what is it called? A load. Okay? Now, I explained all 6 main Symple machines in here. And thank you for listening. I'll be posting more videos on YouTube. Bye-bye.